like, if these people were coming to you for marital advice, do you think...
this is where we're going, huh? Because, let's face it, sometimes people marry the wrong person. That's a fact.
And this is one of the quotes, is she said, Jordan's a really hard person to be married to, but I think he'd be harder to be divorced to.
And so that's what I mean, you become a victim. And so now I sit in it, and then what it does is it gives me an excuse not to do the hard work. It is hard work, folks, to overcome this stuff. You were raised a certain way, and there were things that were placed into you, lies that were put into you, and now they're controlling you. It is hard to overcome those things. I agree. It is the hard work. But on the other side of that hard work is freedom. Well, hey, everyone. Welcome to Between Sundays podcast. Man, we're glad you're here watching and listening. And I am your host, Dale Satrum. And, of course, I am here with my two famous co-hosts, Katie Jones.
What's up, guys?
And the infamous...
Drum solo.
Oh, Jerry Lara.
Ready to rumble.
That's right. We are here. We're ready to go. And this is a place where, hey, we try to, one, have a lot of fun as we talk about how do you follow Jesus between the Sundays. Okay? Big old messy world out there, and it gets weirder by the day, it seems. But we still got to figure out how to follow Jesus in that weird world. So, and today, it's weird.
Hey, what were you thinking of when you said it's weird? Did you have something
What
in
did we
mind?
just share to you?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking of my co-host. Just with endearment, always.
Hey,
but
only the best people are a little weird.
If you guys
Come
don't
on.
know,
you have
we
no
told
idea.
PD about ASMR for the first time.
And I looked at him and I go, what are you talking about? They make me feel old sometimes, okay? That's it, right there.
Yeah, we love you guys so much that we're adding another element of ASMR. It's Jeremy eating cucumbers.
Yes. We're trying to stay healthy, guys. We're trying to get swole. Not with that, but
Get swole with cucumbers.
with something.
I got nothing for this, okay? I just don't get it, okay?
That's
but
why
that's
it's great.
okay.
Yes.
We love everyone here on the podcast.
Absolutely. Jesus loves you, and so do we.
That's right.
That's what we about here.
Oh, man.
But we are excited. When I say we, I mostly mean me because I'm well educated in today's topic.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a little lost, but that's okay.
I'll be honest with you guys. One of my guilty pleasures, I'm getting close to letting it go, but it's just not quite there yet, is The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Listen, I know it's trash. You don't need to tell me. I get it. But it opens the door because so many other women watch it. We love to talk about it because maybe we don't have that drama in our life, thankfully, because Jesus be leading us. But we can watch other people go through it. But I will say, as I was watching this last season, I'm like, oh my gosh, so many of these clips. I'm like, they need a little pastoral counseling. So we thought it could be a fun little segment today to talk about this because that is what everyone's talking about right now. There's a lot of drama around this show. And it is sad. And I feel like whatever we watch when it's reality TV, whether it be scripted or not, they are real people. And we want good things for people. We want people to find Jesus. And it's never impossible, right?
That's true. Absolutely. But, like I said, this is a topic that you're a little more well-versed than me. Because we said before that we started recording, so I might as well just confess. You're confessing to watching this. I will confess that I've never watched a reality TV program in my life.
Holy than me.
Ever.
Yep.
Any of them. Okay, so I'm like, huh? What is this? Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? That's a thing?
It is.
Okay,
it's a big thing.
It's a big thing.
So all right, for anyone like PD, we'll give a quick little rundown. Jeremy, go ahead, since we know you love to watch this show.
I've never seen the show before.
Lies.
I've never seen the show.
You haven't either?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But I do know all the news about it, so it's been going pretty viral. So.
Yes.
Really? Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, the big deal right now, there's 4 seasons of this show in particular. It started with a TikTok group of moms who essentially would make videos on TikTok, just they would dance, and then they would kind of support each other with brand deals, and they ended up getting really big and got a deal for this show. The main girl, Taylor Frankie Paul, is kind of the leader of this mom talk group. And she, say what you want, she is someone that is, to me, seems like what you get on TV is probably what you get outside of TV, because she's very emotional. She's got that irrational, but she also, she just reminds me of someone that's really lost in life. So, and don't worry, there's a biblical lining to this. We will talk about that. I'm just giving you guys the overview, okay? So
I'm all ears.
So don't get panties in a bunch here, but we have her who, throughout the seasons, she has a lot of drama. She has 2 different baby daddies. I think 3 kids total. She's been divorced, and then she got with this other guy, and this is the main relationship that they kind of highlighted. And he's a recovering addict, and she is kind of addicted to him. It seems like they just have this very toxic relationship where they can't seem to get on the same page. He's always making mistakes. They're on a break, but then he talks to another girl or kisses another girl. Like, it's very high school-y, feely, right?
How old are these people?
They're my age.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So anyways, the most recent thing, she was going to go on The Bachelorette, which that's a separate issue. That used to be one of the more classier reality TV shows, you could say. Like,
I've heard of that one.
Yeah. Oh, well, points to you. Yep.
Yes. His favorite show. His favorite.
Yeah.
I heard about it.
Yeah, I heard about it.
I'm
I've
all
never
up to
watched
date.
it.
But they chose her to be the Bachelorette, which in the past, like I said, that was a little more classier, but I think their ratings have dropped because we eat up more of that trashy stuff now. So I think that they picked her kind of as it was a business move for sure. So, because you think about the concept of 30 eligible bachelors fighting over someone who not only has 2 different
So down bad.
baby
So
daddies, yes, but she also has an open domestic violence case against, because her and this lover of hers have gotten into fights, physical fights. Yes. So anyway,
Sounds healthy.
That's about the biggest, and there's lots of different relationships in this show. I think there's probably 10 to 12 women.
Well, no wonder people like to watch this, because they watch something and it's like, listen, there's no way my life is as bad as theirs, so they feel better.
You got a point here.
Okay, there it is.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
That's why they watch it.
reality TV
So-
I
show.
think my life sucks until I watch theirs.
The big thing on the internet right now is kind of so she was going on The Bachelorette, but then right before the show was supposed to air, this video of her from 2023 came out of her throwing bar stools at this guy. And one of them ends up hitting her daughter, which I think is the case. And I think there's some more stuff that happened recently, but that was the one. So you have half the internet that's like, oh, he posted that just to get back at her. He's so toxic. And then you have the other side that's like, why are we making excuses for someone that literally threw chairs at this man and hit her daughter it was an accident, but still, you put your child in this really toxic situation.
Because you're out of control.
Yes, she was. And she'd been drinking. So it's just sad all the way around. It really is. Yes, we can talk about, getting the popcorn, but it is a really sad situation. And these are real people. So anyways, I thought that's not necessarily the one I think most of us know, okay, first of all, you need Jesus. But second of all, you two just need to probably not be together. It's just not the right thing for either of you. But there's other relationships throughout this show where a lot of them have been divorced. And I think one thing, and we'll allude to this in a little bit, but one thing that I'm noticing is we might be one of the most awarest, mentally aware generations, but it seems to be we use it as an excuse almost. So Taylor, this girl in particular, you hear her use this term all the time. So she was raised by her mom and her stepdad and her mom and stepdad got together when she was a baby. But she always says, my biological dad didn't want me, and there's some deep wounds there, but she will use that as an excuse to get back together with Dakota all the time. I think I just go back to him because, he's supposed to love me. My dad didn't love me. It's almost like we use these awareness of our wounds and we use them as a crutch. This is why I'm doing this. And so we'll talk more about that a little bit.
That's a good topic.
Yes, we'll talk about that. But I thought it would be fun to showcase another couple who I want to just show you this clip, and I can give you the context after you listen to it. But listen to this clip, and I want to know what you would tell this couple.
Okay, before we get to the clip, I just want to say I'm kind of sitting here in amazement, listening to you talk about the show. It's just because I mean it is just rolling out of you like I mean it's just fluid. I mean I'm kind of just in awe.
I've had a lot of time to think about. I mean, like I said, I don't watch that much TV.
No, that's okay.
I really don't,
that's
guys.
okay.
But
No,
this show,
I'm enjoying it. Okay, really. So let's watch the clip.
Well, glad you're enjoying it, guys. All right, so you can only listen. We couldn't pull the actual clip.
All right.
So just go ahead and listen to this, and I want to hear your thoughts after.
Even though Jordan and I are working on things, it just feels like we're never on the same page and we can't quite get there. And I'm trying to give it time and I'm trying to see if that can change, but I am open to the possibility that this could work out and this could make us stronger than ever. Or maybe we are destined for divorce and that has to be a real possibility as well.
So, short little clip, but let me give you a little tiny backstory. We won't get too much, but this is a woman who was divorced before. This is her second marriage. She has had an emotional affair in the last season. Now they're trying to work through things. But the whole thread is very much so like, we're going to give it, this is their plan. We're going to give it 1 year of just trying our best. And if we're still not on that same page at the end of the year, we're going to get a divorce. So right before this, they're on their anniversary dinner. And he is saying, like, I've been thinking maybe we should renew our vows. And she says, I think that's really unauthentic for where we're at right now. But, like, if these people were coming to you for marital advice, do you think...
this is where we're going, huh?
Do you think that mindset, and I love this, I love talking about this because this is not a one and done couple right here. Do you think that if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Is that an empowering mindset for couples or is that very damaging?
Okay. I'm going to answer this generically because obviously I don't know these people. I don't know this whole situation. Obviously, when people come and talk to me when it comes to counseling and marriage, it's much more complex than a TV program. So let me just say that out there. For those of you that are listening, you're struggling in your marriage, it's complex. So if you were sitting in my office and we were talking about it, it would be more detailed than the answer I'm going to currently give because all I can do is answer based on a soundbite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So basically, if you have a mentality going into a relationship, into your marriage, where you basically have created a back door out and you're going to hang on to that back door, then you're not 100% in. You're just not. You're always going to leave the back door option open. You might give 90%, okay, but you're not going to give 100% because you have created a back door option. You need to go into this relationship where both people are 100% in. We will make this work, okay? We'll make this work. Now, that requires a level of maturity that I'm not so sure these people have. So that's part of the problem. But what do you mean if both people decide to be 100% in, you make it work, you figure it out, you change, you learn. It means that you're going to deal with your crap, your stuff, okay? And they both obviously, you come from previous relationships, previous marriage. Everybody has stuff that they bring into a marriage because nobody was raised by perfect parents. So everybody has baggage to overcome. I mean, so all of that, if I'm 100% in, I'm willing to do the hard work to get over my stuff. And so you work on it individually. You're willing to work on it as a couple. I mean, so there's a host of other things, but you got to be 100% in to do that. If you always keep that backdoor option there, then it's easy for you to say, "Listen, I tried and they're not, and so I'm taking the back door." All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that doesn't mean that there are situations out there where people marry an abuser and they marry alcoholics. And, okay, those is where if you're sitting in my office, we're going to have different conversations.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
So let's just take all of that off the table because let's face it, sometimes people marry the wrong person. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So I'm not justifying any behaviors that go with that, but let me just say that does exist. That being said, that's not the conversation we're having right now.
And outside of those situations, so often what we're seeing today with divorce is they didn't make me happy anymore. or we just weren't compatible anymore. So it's not even necessarily you're seeing, and those cases that you're talking about, those 100% exist. That's not what we're talking about. But we have this mentality of like, my spouse is here just to make me happy. And if that's not
Right.
the case anymore, then I should be able to leave.
Yeah, so there's this huge selfishness that exists, and it's because people are immature. I mean, selfishness and immaturity, they go together, all right? Children want everything their way. Well, then we get married being emotionally immature. And so, you know, you think your spouse is simply there to make you happy. And for anyone who's been married for any length of time, you know that's just not you're going to find out that there are times they don't make you happy.
Yes.
So compatibility, as I've said for decades, is a choice. Compatibility is a choice. And the reason people can't learn to be compatible is because they think it's all chemistry. And I'm not saying chemistry doesn't exist, but compatibility is choosing to you learn how to be compatible. You give up some of your selfish ways for the sake of the person. You figure out how they need to be loved. You figure out how they want to be talked to. You figure out what they need to be happy. It's both ways, though. So they do the same for you. If two people can get into that mindset, it is amazing the type of relationship that you can create. It's just that most people don't have the maturity, I guess, because they're too selfish. Yeah. They're too selfish to do that.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of selflessness to live that way. I will agree, because we're all prone to selfishness. I mean,
for sure.
I have my selfish moments. There's no doubt.
We all do. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy, did you have anything on that soundbite that?
No, I was just gonna say that. I mean, I've been married for a couple months, so still learning things little by little. But I notice there's a lot of marriages are transactional. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if you do this, then you can do this, or if you do this, it's like which is not the relationship that we have with Christ at all. It's not transactional. He doesn't love us because he loves us, just like period, like that. And so for us to walk into marriage thinking of that, that's where I see a lot of divorces happening, of like, they didn't meet my needs here, or this, but then you have to look at yourself of like, did I provide anything for the other person, So it goes both ways. And so that's where transactional marriages are just not marriages.
Yeah, so that's a great point. You'll make me think of when I was growing up, when you're, in high school or whatever, you hear the like, oh, 50-50 if someone's not giving 50, but it's like the real marriages that work are 100-100.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not paying attention to, you're not keeping track and tabs. I mean, sometimes I think we can't help it. Like, you do think in your head, like, oh, I did this, but you can't hold on to it.
That's human stuff and human nature and whatnot. And, during the course and different seasons of life, sometimes things do get out of balance. I mean, you start adding in children, and you add in, careers, and you add in college and school if you're still married and you're going through. I mean, sometimes it does get out of balance. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, or you have a spouse that gets a sickness. I mean, sometimes, let's face it, one spouse is putting out more output, I guess, than the other one. At times, that's a fact. Yeah. That's how. But we go into marriage. You call it transactional. I agree. It's a lot of people look at marriage as a contract, and as followers of Jesus, we look at marriage as a covenant. What's the difference? A covenant is a promise. Okay, it's based on a promise. God chooses to love us. It's unconditional. It's not based on our behavior. He chooses to love us. It's a covenant relationship. Mm-hmm. We do the best to love our spouses that way. Men are commanded to love their wives as Christ loved the church, which is, a ridiculous command. I'll be honest with you. I mean, really, I got to love my wife like Jesus loves the church. I mean, for crying out loud, okay? Yeah. He died for the church. He sacrificed for the church. I mean, good grief. I'm to love my wife like that. You can only do that in a covenant relationship, not a contractual one.
Right.
So,
right. Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they have a contract, not a covenant.
And it's interesting too, because he just recently filed for divorce, this gentleman, and he wasn't like a great stand-up husband. I'm not saying that or anything either, but she was so upset while they were working it out, because they realized that they didn't have witnesses sign their prenup, and she's worth a lot. She has a business, this and that. So she was just crying about, like, I'm going to lose millions. And this is one of the quotes, is she said, Jordan's a really hard person to be married to, but I think he'd be harder to be divorced to. And I'm watching this and I'm thinking, like, that is such a sad mentality in a marriage. I mean, I know prenups are a whole other conversation, but I just think, like, oh man, like, it is destined to fail if you're so concerned with your money and how much you're going to lose, and that's what you're most worried about. You're more worried about that than the relationship that you committed to. You know, it is very sad, but it's very common. It's a very common mentality now. So, and that is not to. There are plenty of people that have gotten remarried and have great, healthy marriages. They're following Jesus. So
we're not here to critique
we're
divorce.
Not shaming.
That's not the point of this conversation.
But obviously, I'm sure even those people would say, "Oh man, like of course, like if my first marriage, if we had both been, following Jesus and on the same page, like I highly doubt that you would have that second marriage. You know, it's definitely it's a sad topic for sure." But it does tie into what we were going to talk about next. And this is what not enough people are talking about. And that's why I think that show is so perfect for this, because they all are so mentally aware. They're going to therapy. That dinner we were just talking about that they were at for their 5-year anniversary, she's crying because she's triggered because her and her last husband divorced right after their 5-year anniversary. So she's just having the memories and it's triggering. And they're using these words of like, oh, that was traumatic, and we're very aware, but like, is it helping us? So I thought we would actually take a little deep dive into let's look at this. So despite, this is from Science Direct, despite massive increases in mental health awareness, reported mental health issues have also increased.
Yep.
So it seems awareness helps people recognize symptoms, which is good, but it can also make us label normal stress as a disorder, which can increase symptoms over time. I mean, there's so much power in that mental state.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but if you ever like feel like you're starting to get sick and then you like worry about it, and sometimes obviously that's out of your control, but I'm not kidding. The times where I'm like worried about it, like, oh man, I'm going to have to do this and I'm going to be sick, I always get sick. But if I'm like, it is what it is, like just get
every
the
time,
rest.
because you add less stress into your body when it's like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna get sick. You know, it's not like anyway,
yeah.
I agree, yeah.
Oh, you can psych yourself out for sure. But yeah, what do you guys? There's more here, but what do you guys think about that?
You know, a lot of people say that they have ADHD. Like, it's maybe like half the people that have. No, maybe not half. Okay, that's an exaggeration. But just quite a few people where they label themselves as, I have ADHD. I'm just like, you're just very, maybe you're just emotional, energetic. I don't think you have ADHD. Talking
about you, Dale.
You know?
That's me.
But, you know, it's like everyone has their own way of
pretty soon.
showcasing you being energetic and like expressing their emotions. But then people, I think, feel secure if they can label it into something. Yeah. Without having to figure it out and deal with it.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's what I see a lot of people of, the label, maybe something that they're going through stress-wise or mental-wise as one thing, because they feel comforted in a sense of like, okay, now I can kind of put my direction of like, this is what I'm dealing with. But then sometimes you don't end up dealing with it. Sometimes it's like, well, now that I put myself in this box, I'm just going to push it over there. So it goes both ways. Yeah. It can be helpful, but it can also be damaging to a person. So
yeah, those are great points. I completely agree, and I never want to, we're not making anyone feel less than or pointing out like that it's a bad thing to know if you struggle with anything. It's not what we're saying. But I also sometimes feel like on the same thing as ADHD, people use anxiety as like they're precious, like that, like my anxiety, like when you break a bone, you don't be like my broken bone. My stomach ache. It's but with anxiety, it's like, oh, my anxiety just won't allow me to do that. My anxiety kept me from this today. And you know, and again, not saying that's not a real problem, but I think when you acknowledge something, but then you give it power, is there healing that can happen after you give it so much power? And I know this is broad. We have so many other mental health things we could talk about that, you know, I'm not against if you need medication for a while, but I think our medical system isn't quite set up to get people empowered to be better. It seems to me that we just love to give out quick fixes. Our generation loves quick. I mean, we love like instant gratification. So it makes sense that that translates even into a medical.
I mean, we even had,
situation too.
which you guys will see tomorrow, but our conversation with Joy
Yeah.
of how doctors were able to give her medication at such a young age. And it's like, even doctors are allowing stuff like that where it's like, that shouldn't even be happening at all, and that's scary that that's how the world is right now.
Yeah,
And so-
absolutely. Yeah. That's a Friday plug.
Friday, go
That's
watch it.
Yep. But anyways, Dale, you're quiet over there.
I know I'm being awful quiet.
He wants to say a lot.
Yeah.
That's probably true. I probably want to say a lot of things. I'm trying to measure a little bit what I say because, listen, I'm from a different generation, and sometimes that I don't want to come across. I don't want to come across sounding unloving or that I don't care, I don't understand, because I do. And people legitimately struggle with all these things that we're talking about, and they're real and they're paralyzing. And so I want to acknowledge all of that. And yeah, but sometimes I do think that we have a culture, we have a society that just, I think sometimes we like to be victims. We like being victims to our stuff. And there's a part of that I don't understand. I was raised to overcome things. And that doing hard things, even though it was hard to overcome your stuff, whatever it was, you aspire to that. Because you don't want those internal things, fear, anxiety, insecurities, to control you. Because if they control you, they really hinder you. They take your freedom away. They rob you of life. So that I just have a different mentality towards that stuff. I've had to overcome. People look at my life, oh, you've never had to overcome anything. BS.
Yeah.
Right? That's not true. You're just seeing somebody who's overcome so many things over his life, and so you see the result of that. I had all kinds of things of insecurities and fears and anxieties in my younger years. So a lot. But I got to a place where I did not like these things controlling me. They'll determine your future if you allow them to.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so I don't want to be a victim to anything. I don't want anything controlling me. As a believer, I don't want this to sound a cliche, but the only thing that really should control me is Christ. I mean, you're controlling me. I want the Holy Spirit to control me, and so I don't want my fear.
Yeah.
So, I think we have a society where people, it's almost like they almost feel empowered identifying with the thing that controls them. It's just really weird.
I know this might make some people mad, but to me it feels like an excuse to continue the path you're going.
Right, and so that's you become a victim, and so now I sit in it. And then what it does is it gives me an excuse not to do the hard work. It is hard work, folks, to overcome the stuff. You were raised a certain way, and there were things that were placed into you, lies that were put into you, and now they're controlling you. It is hard to overcome those things. I agree. It is the hard work. But on the other side of that hard work is freedom.
Yeah.
On the other side of that hard work is, a life that maybe you can't even imagine. People who have fears, I don't care what the fear is or anxiety. I'm afraid of flying. All right. Overcome it. Basically, here's how I chose to live a long time ago. If I'm afraid of it, I do it. If you're afraid of it, that's a sign you need to do it.
I love it.
I mean, because how do you think you overcome something that you're afraid of? The only reason the way you overcome something is by doing it.
Well,
so
you're hitting on such great points, PD, but it makes me think of the verse we love to always say, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding. There's a reason understanding isn't the end all be all. God never said, once you understand, you'll be free. It's like, no, like we might understand why we are acting a certain way or what is holding us back. You might understand it, but then the next piece to overcome the way you're talking about is trusting in the Lord with it and bringing it to him. So,
and when you face your fears, you're facing it with him. You're trusting the Lord with him. The Bible also commands not just the trust, but he also commands courage. We don't talk about courage in this culture much. Courage is an aspired spiritual quality. The Bible says, be strong, be courageous. Strong doesn't always mean physically strong, but you're internally strong, you're mentally strong, you're emotionally strong, you're courageous in how you live. You cannot develop those type of qualities, issues like endurance, perseverance, other biblical qualities. You can't develop those unless you do hard things. So,
well, you know what? The bar has been set very low for what courage even is today.
Right.
Courage is...
I haven't heard that word in a while.
Yeah, seriously. But I mean, you hear bravery. Oh, he's so brave because he came out of the closet.
oh my goodness. Okay. I know.
I know. I didn't mean to always take it there. But I think our bar has been so lowered that this next generation might not even know what is courageous. It's standing for what's right. It's
People don't even know what they're capable of doing.
Yep.
See, that's the thing. You don't even know what you're capable of doing unless you face your fears, unless you face your insecurities, unless you have this choice to be courageous or run away. Okay, you don't even know who you are yet. And so, okay, quick story. Quick story.
Have at it.
I mean,
permission.
it's just a
permission to
proceed. It's just a practical story of how if you do the thing you're afraid of, pretty soon you not only overcome your fear, the fear doesn't even exist anymore. So before Foothills, I got kicked out of a church. Okay, and so I had to go wash windows. A professional window cleaning. My friend owned a professional window cleaning company. I went to work with him for a year, washing windows. And we washed windows in residential areas in Lake Oswego. So a lot of the homes were 2 stories on the front and 4 stories on the back. And there were days where I'm up on ladders all day, cleaning gutters, cleaning windows, and we're using 30 to 40-foot ladders. Now, I know some people, they don't know how big that is, but when you're up on a ladder, you're moving a 40-foot ladder around. A 40-foot ladder is incredibly, 40 feet in the air. If you don't like heights, that's going to weird you out because it's a long ways up.
It's making my palms sweat right now.
I mean, it's 40 feet in the air, and it's just a ladder.
Yeah.
So I remember my first day on the job, we're driving down on the Willamette River, and we're doing this huge house around the Willamette River, and we had to use a 40-foot ladder on day one, okay? And the 40-foot ladder, fully extended, barely hit the rung of the gutters, okay? And so he said, okay, we got to get up on the roof. And so he climbed up, he tied the top of the ladder off, and then he went up and, okay? Now, I'm not like scared of heights, but that weirded me out, okay? Because it was on the river, and this thing was 40 feet in the height. I remember climbing up on that ladder going, all right, Lord, here we go. Okay, my heart's pounding a little bit. My hands are a little bit sweaty, but I'm with my friend, so I'm not going to admit anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just tell myself, you get your butt up on that roof. And so we got up on that roof, and I did what I needed to do, but my movements are measured, they're slow. I'm paying way attention because I don't want to die. Okay, that was day one. Fast forward 6 months later, I've been working with him for 6 months. He had this rotation with a lot of these homes. We would show up every 6 months. We drove back. We're talking. We're driving in the truck. We're heading back down to this house, and we pulled up to it. I didn't think anything of it. He says, remember this place? I go, no, why? He said, this is the first house you did. This was our first house when you started working for me.
Wow.
I said, no way. I jumped out of the truck. This can't be the same house. He said, it is. This is the house that weirded you out. I grabbed that ladder, threw 40 foot up there, climbed up there like nothing. I didn't even think about it. Didn't even think twice. Wasn't afraid at all. Walked around the edge, and that's what happened. After a while, you almost get to a place where there's no fear. I mean, I'm walking around the edge of all these houses now with 40, 50, 60 feet straight down to the ground. Didn't bother me a bit. You just overcame that fear. Mm-hmm. Because you did the thing, and then you did it again and again and again and again, and that thing lost complete control of you. Yeah. Every area of your life, and that taught me something. Every area from my life from that point on taught me that's how it works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you run from whatever you're afraid of, it will control you for the rest of your life. You look at it, you do it, then you do it again and again, and it will lose control.
that principle can be applied to literally,
Across
it's not
everything.
even just fear, it's discipline too.
That's what I mean. It's everything.
Oh, I hate waking up early. Do it for 3 weeks. You're not going to hate it anymore.
I know.
If there's something that you can, that is such a great story. That is so powerful
But
because,
it's the hard thing. People
Yep.
don't want to do the hard thing. It's scary. It makes me uncomfortable. It's this, it's that. And it's like, and we're creating we're embracing weakness instead of strength and courage.
Absolutely.
We need to value these other qualities. Being strong and courageous doesn't make you a toxic male or a toxic person. You need these qualities in life because sometimes in your marriage, you got to do the hard thing. Sometimes as a parent, you got to do the hard thing. Sometimes at work, you got to do the hard thing.
100%.
Okay?
Have either of you ever followed or heard anything from David Goggins?
I know who he is, but anything recent?
Well, there's a part in his book that has always stood out to me, and it goes exactly with what you're saying. He talks about the cookie jar. And it's this concept where he was this huge overweight dude, nothing going for him. He was like, I had nothing in the cookie jar to pull from because I had never followed through on anything in my life. He's like, I picked one thing. I stuck with it. That's a cookie in my cookie jar. So the next hard thing, hey, I can do this. I got a cookie in the cookie jar. The more hard things you do, that cookie jar gets full and full, and your confidence gets fuller, and it's there. You can pull from it all the time. But if you don't do those hard things, you've got nothing to pull from. Yeah. So I just love that concept.
The more hard things you do.
Absolutely.
It makes you strong. It makes you confident. And then when hard times hit you, you don't freak out. Why? Because you've overcome so many hard things in your life. What's one more?
You know, the beautiful thing too, and this is in our notes, we were going to talk about, we've already kind of touched on a lot of these things, but we wanted to talk about when does awareness turn into identity? But what you're talking about is you can choose whether that awareness and that the thing that holds you back, that is infused with your identity, or how much are you leaning into Christ? How much are you following through? How much of that is more of your identity?
Right.
You know, you can
awareness is a good thing. I'm aware, therefore I want to grow beyond it. The problem is we're just aware and we stay there and we get stuck there, and then you just become a victim of your awareness instead of being aware. I believe in self-awareness. I mean, self-awareness is a gift. So once you become self-aware, there needs to be a process, a plan, a direction that grows you beyond where you're at. If you're not doing that, then you're just embracing a victim mentality, and you are going to cycle in that for the rest of your life. You'll just cycle in and out of anxiety and fear, and that's the cycle you're going to be on for the rest of your life.
The issue is people don't want to be leaders nowadays. The Bible talks about this. Proverbs 12:24, my favorite verse. Work hard and become a leader. Be lazy and become a slave. You become a slave of your anxiety. Become a slave of depression. Even awareness, you can become a slave to that. But you can work hard, but that also means that you're going to become a leader. And not a lot of people want to lead a space. Not a lot of people want to work hard. And the same thing that we've been talking about is, you know, you have courage to step into something new. It's going to be hard, but people don't want to, they just want to be lazy nowadays. And that's not everyone. I mean, I've seen a lot of people my age that work hard, but I also see vice versa of like, dang, you're just lazy, man. Like, you know.
And you can be mentally lazy, emotionally lazy, relationally lazy. See, I mean, it shows up in a lot of ways, and I know we don't like that word lazy, but it just is. I mean, it's some of this stuff is hard work, but we're obsessed with comfort. Well, one of my things I love to say is comfort kills you. It does. I mean, the tension of a lot of this stuff is what physically it keeps your muscles strong with tension. Without tension, you atrophy. But I think what happens is people atrophy emotionally. Their relationships atrophy. You mentally can atrophy. So all that stuff has to be challenged. Challenge is a good thing. So I don't know where that we went off the track where we stopped telling people that challenge and struggle is good. It's not bad. It's good. It's what makes you strong. It's what makes you resilient. It's what makes you to be able to persevere. These are qualities that we need to aspire to. And somehow I wish we could get back into our culture that these are things worth aspiring to. Don't be obsessed with comfort. Comfort will destroy you. So
well, I mean, and the people out there listening, like, oh, but but there's less stigma and there's more openness and more people are seeking help, which isn't necessarily this bad thing. Like that can be a good thing all in itself. But the caveat to it is there's been higher reported cases, but we just don't know if we are more broken than in past decades, or are we more just searching for quick fixes? It's hard. It's like these really hard statistics to try to
because the data says we're worse.
Yes.
The data that's coming in says that we have more mental health issues than any other time in recorded history. And just this other article I just read just the other day, that here in the U.S., we are on a steady decline of just overall life satisfaction. We just every year, I mean, we rate lower and lower in life satisfaction. It's not like with all of the technology and all the advancements and all this stuff, you think we would be the most satisfied group of people on the planet, but we're not. We're more dissatisfied than we've ever been. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, something's not working, Katie. It's not working.
Amen to that.
All right.
Well,
so
there's a note here from one of the articles I pulled, and it says outcomes have not improved. Experts are arguing there may be more awareness, but it's not fixing the root causes like isolation, too much social media, lack of purpose, lifestyle, including sleep, diet, movement. So like people are, it's like, oh, yep, I know it's wrong, but give me the quick fix. I want the easy way.
I want the easy way.
Not a thing.
I mean, we all know, all the data says that if you have, X amount of screen hours, screen time, okay, it actually diminishes things in your brain, the chemicals in your brain. It actually makes you more unhappy. And so it's like, don't spend so much time on your phones. And, right?
Yep.
It's just, the data says it. And yet, what do people do? Well, it's hard. Well, you're right.
Hard,
it is because you're addicted to it.
Yep.
And we all are to a point, okay, because that's the world we live in. So can you put it down? I mean, I don't even have my phone in the bedroom at night.
Nope. I don't do that either.
It will not be in the bedroom. It will not, how do people get a hold of you? They can wait.
You'd be shocked at how many emergencies you don't have when you put away your phone.
See, it's easy for me to go there because I grew up in the era when none of that existed.
Yeah.
I know some people didn't. I get it. So I know we can live without this stuff.
It's really interesting, and it always makes me pause a little bit. My kids, because I think there's a lot of people my age that we're choosing to not give our kids screens or phones, but yet our kids are seeing us on them and what it does for our kids. Like, and I am a work in progress for sure. Since I do this for work, it can be really hard to get off the phone, but our family's trying really hard to commit to like a no phone day every week. And I'm always shocked. I don't know why. Like, oh my gosh, like I connected to the heart of my child so much more on those days where the phone is completely out of the picture. I get to look in their eyes more and I'm paying attention more. And I try to do it. We don't have phones at the dinner table, things like that. But even outside of that, like, oh, I got to get back to this email or this. And your kid just keeps seeing you look at that more than their eyes. And it's going to have some effects whether we want to admit it or not. And I am not perfect on it and not claiming that at all. But again, it's the awareness. I'm aware. But now I just got to do the hard work to actually make a difference in my life and my kid's life for it. So anyways, any other thoughts?
No, yeah.
You guys had good stuff. Sorry, I'm...
There's not a lot of advantages of being older. I'm going to say, but this is one of them.
Yeah.
It just is. Because I have a majority of my life, I have experiences without technology.
Yeah.
The majority of my life. All this stuff is very recent. Yeah. The internet's very, very recent. So it's just maybe it's a little bit easier for me or my generation to say, hey, we're gonna put this stuff down and we're gonna go experience life together. I think what these devices have done and what I see so often is that it's turned this culture into observers, watchers, voyeurs. We're just going to watch life happen. We're going to watch somebody else do life.
Spectator sport.
Well, it even blows me away how much my grandkids, they love to watch videos of other people playing with toys.
So do mine.
That's crazy.
It's really weird.
Me. I'm like, what are you watching? Oh, Papa, this is so cool. Look at this guy's playing with his toy. What?
Interesting.
Yeah, you go play the toy.
Exactly. So
Yes.
see, this is what it's turning us all into. I don't want to watch somebody else experience life. I want to touch it, taste it, feel it, do it.
Yeah. You and me have had some conversations for sure about the social media,
Yeah.
because it is a very double-edged sword.
It's not going away.
It can be a great tool to connect with others. I think there have been times just in the last 10 years or so where if we didn't have social media, I think we would have been in a lot more trouble because it maximized voices that would have been swept under the rug that were important for people to hear. But then it's also exactly what you're talking about. Like, oh, I don't need to connect in person because I can just stay behind my screen all day and not actually go out and do something.
There's good and bad to it.
Absolutely.
Like everything in life.
Yep.
It's not one or the other. It is both. And I fully admit to that. I love the technology. I love what it allows us to do. And I love that, look what it's giving us a voice, okay, even here. So I love the fact that I can, talk to my grandkids wherever I'm at in the world, okay? I love all of that. It's some very, very good things that are part of it. But I think that we just need to be aware of the other things, but then make choices. And the choices are just hard. Mm-hmm. They just are.
Yep, absolutely.
So, good stuff, Katie.
Yeah, you guys, we'd love to hear from you guys. Tell us what you think in the comments below or shoot us a message. But we will end with some good news.
Woo-hoo.
I loved this story. And so I would love to show it to you guys because, again, and obviously we've been talking about kind of like the other side of Hollywood. We were talking about reality TV a little bit, but I'm going to read this. This is from Lila Rose. Who shared this and came up with this video, but she says, there's a cultural shift happening in Hollywood. In 2020, and I remember this, actress Michelle Williams claimed aborting her baby led to winning a Golden Globe while visibly pregnant. In 2026, actress Jessie Buckley praises her marriage and motherhood during her Oscar-winning speech shortly after becoming a new mom to a 6-month-old. Kids don't limit your life. They bring love and are better than any worldly success. So I loved this. So she shows the 2 videos and it's really powerful. So
Fred, I love you, man. I love you. You're the most incredible dad. You're my best friend, and I want to have 20,000 more babies with you. I do. I do. And Isla, my little girl who is 8 months, who has absolutely no idea what's going on and is probably dreaming of milk. But this is kind of a big deal. And I love you and I love being your mom and I can't wait to discover life beside you. Chloe and Maggie, to get to know this incandescent woman and journey to understand the capacity of a mother's love is the greatest collision of my life. It's Mother's Day in the UK today. So I would like to dedicate this to the beautiful chaos of a mother's heart.
Grateful for the acknowledgement of the choices I've made, and I'm also grateful to have lived at a moment in our society where choice exists, because as women and as girls, things can happen to our bodies that are not our choice. I've tried my very best to live a life of my own making, and not just a series of events that happened to me, but one that I could stand back and look at and recognize my handwriting all over, sometimes messy and scrawling, sometimes careful and precise, but one that I had carved with my own hand, and I wouldn't have been able to do this without employing a woman's right to choose.
Yeah, 2 radically different messages.
Radically different. But it all ties in. My, very, very self-focused versus just the pure joy that comes from focusing on others. It's very interesting. But I loved that. I loved that contrast and thought it was really special.
Yeah.
Well, you'd hope that it would continue.
Yeah.
Not that I want to be cynical about Hollywood, but I hope it does.
Yeah.
Because they need other people to stand up for those type of values.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, good for her, the first one.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know?
First one.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
No.
Yeah.
All right, this
Go
was a
moms
great
out
talk.
there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
You know, the chaos of motherhood.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
The hand that rocks the cradle controls the world. My ladies.
My ladies.
All right. We'll be back on Friday. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
And yep, we had a
Yeah.
blast.
We'll see you guys.
All right.
Bye.